Hello, it's Art Wednesday. So, I bet you're wondering what we're doing this week. Well, I thought we'd have a complete difference. Not in the way of birds, but the type of bird. So, we're going to be doing a flamingo. Now, because of the complex nature of the flamingo's beak and the unusual structure of the flamingo's face and body, to be quite honest, I'm going to break this down into two. So this week we're going to look at drawing the face and the beak, and then next week we're going to follow on and then extend to do the whole flamingo. I've got one here. We're going to do the whole flamingo, but because of, like I said, the complex nature, we're breaking this down. So where do we start? As always, we're going to look at the shapes, and we're going to look at the lines, the tones, the direction, the proportion. So straight away you probably noticed the circle. Look at the bend in the neck. It bends even more when the flamingo lowers his or her head. Beautiful angles on that. If we look then towards the beak, if you see this part, we've got a nice triangle shape there. If you break that down, you've got sort of a rectangle shape there. So look at the distance from the head and the proportion. The beak, look at this width and this width. Yeah, it's about 2/3 of the head size. It's quite wide, and even more so in length. Got a long length there. Look at the head size. Look at this here. So the beak, a lot longer than the head. So let's make a start. You need some pencils. You need quite a dark shaded pencil for the black beak area. I've got a 9B, and I'm just going to use what I've got here. It's my 2H again. It's different 2H, so we'll see how we go on with this one. Also, look at the tiny eye with that one. Completely different to normal bird's eyes. You've got a little pupil in the centre and then very light with dark ring on the outside. So, I'm going to start by putting my glasses on so I can see. I'm going to start with the circle. And remember, just take your time. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Okay? If you can't do that circle by using the armitage, think of that way. Actually, that is going to be, I'm thinking there, I'm going to fit that beacon, I'm not. Straight away. I need to take that back off again. Start again. So we need to, it's a lesson, isn't it? He always said, if we do this together from scratch, we'll learn a lot more. And even the mistakes, they're learning. That's us learning. So there's my head. Going to find the centre of the eye, and then if we look at the direction, it's going to this angle here. Okay, and then when we get to there, I'm going to go more or less straight down. Now if we bring this back up so you can see, so the head, that round circle, even though it looks a bit odd right now, I'm hoping, I don't know, first time I'm drawing one, the angle of the beak from the centre down, and like I said, that's straight, so it's not quite far off. I think we'll put a point in there so we can get this angle in. So I'm just going to do this really, really faintly for now. And then going to try to find this triangle shape from here to here. That triangle. I'm going to check on the width again because I know that it's about 2/3, isn't it? So I'm going to go up to the eye. It's very odd right now. I'll just put this eye mark in here. So what we need to do now is this part, where we'll put the triangle, we need to then create this, when I said this rectangle shape, we need then to bring this up. And that's given us our width of the beak. So we've got the rectangle, got the triangle, and we've got the circle. Now let's see if we can make this looking more flamingo-like. So we need to then take away a bit of the circle to make more of a softer face shape. And again, softer. So that circle down a bit. And then we're just going to bring this round and this round for that beautiful bend. Beautiful bend in the neck, so elegant. So this might be quite faint. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm just going to rub them marks out because I don't need those now. And then I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Not kidding, this pencil's a bit scratchy. Just making this darker so you can see. And back up to there. Got that eye. Just looking, it's a little bit lower down, I think. I'm just going to move that slightly down. Slightly. Pupil in the centre there. Right, so the beak, we're going to make this more flamingo beak-like now. So we're going to move away from our rectangle and our triangle and form this into one beak. So, we look. Okay, so this is what we're going to form now. The rectangle and the triangle. Going to round the end of this beak off. Bring it round. That sort of nozzle part on the flamingo, that round, and then elongate this area, curve it slightly to come round, and then this beak part, we need to then form where the beak opens. We don't need that guideline no longer. So we have the beginning, we have the structure now, whoops, there's it, we have the structure now of the starting of our flamingo. Now I'm going to put this where the black part is. I'll bring the drawing down so you can see again. Beautiful, beautiful markings, so unusual. And then we'll start sort of forming the feathers and the rest of these pinky orangey type colours. Obviously you can't see because we're doing pencil drawings. So I'm just going to stop it there so you can catch up. You might have to have a couple of goes. With the beak in a little bit there. A bit soft around there. Okay, I'll see you back here in 20 minutes. Hi, I'm back again. So now by now you should have your flamingo face, its structure all in place to now start working on the shading part and maybe emphasising some of the contours of the face. So I think that's what I'll do now. I'm going to now pop out these colours by using a shading pencil. I'm going to use a 9B. Trying to find one. I know I've got one here somewhere. There we go. So 6. This one I'll do actually. Oh, 9. There we go. Now I'm going to put these tones in first, but then I'm going to move it the other way, so I'm not going to drag any of that lead over the paper. Or even you can just put a piece of paper on there so you're not dragging the lead across. So let's bring that nice dark tone in there. And remember what I've always said. See the tornado type movements? I want to do this quite quickly and I'll work on the refinement later. It's a very sunny, beautiful Sunday while I'm doing this. I'm back to normal now, so I'm working 6 days a week again. It's nice to get that normality back, and hopefully Creative Remedies art class and the others will follow shortly. So now I'm going to press, because I quite like how that's working there. Press, just prop my fingers up a little bit more so we can apply some pressure. And go over that again, make it a little bit darker. And again, using that scrumbling, that tornado type movement. And I quite like the fact this paper's slightly textured. And then here is where the beak joins. I'm just going to even go a little bit darker there and bring it up to point. Up to point, and then I'm going to get a H just so I can get the very fine line without getting that soft lead all over the paper. So I've got a H now, and again just bringing this up to point. So I can get this nice pattern, this nice refined edge. I'm going to take it over to this shape over here. I'm still using the H just because I've not got a lot of room in between those lines. I'll leave it to about there. You don't have to follow that pattern. All flamingos, they have, it's the same, but always quite slight. There was a slight tweak, a slight uniqueness to each flamingo. And I'll darken that up a little bit more later. So again, all you're now doing is, I'm going to get a 6B, but you don't have to, you can use a 9, but just release the pressure. And now I'm going to work on the rest of this shading, again, just by this scrumbling, this tonage. I'm not doing any mark makings on this. It's just going to be all about the different shades within the beak. When it comes to doing the feather part, that's when you can start to maybe bring some different sort of technique and mark making into there. I will probably, similar to how you do, it sounds a bit daft, but tree trunk, where you actually feathering away and applying that sort of textured type look, that will give you the downy type look that's on a flamingo. So you can see there, I'm pressing, I'm releasing, I'm pressing, and I'm doing that sort of figure of 8 movement there. I'm going to carry on with that. So I'm going to fill all this part in now. The rest of the beak, remember you're going to leave that white. Maybe put some lines in where the structure of the beak is, that hard part of the beak, and emphasise the eye, and then that'll be our flamingo's face. So I'll see you back here in 15 minutes. I've done some more work on the shading part, and I'm just going to show you the last part of the shading that we're going to do on the flamingo. I'm going to show you how to get this sort of going away type feather motion, a bit like ripples, isn't it? So rather than doing the tree and the scrumbling downwards, all we need to do is just do it on the side, going away, because obviously that's the way the feathers are going in real life. So if you do that, and again just apply pressure, release pressure, just keep it quite loose, and then get a beautiful marking. And then just when you come here, a little bit of shading under this area here, and again a little bit darker under where the jaw, sort of like the face and the beak, will create a bit of a area there, under the neck, and then we just go back to the motion of that figure of 8, that type of scrumbling. I put some darker areas on this side because my light source is coming in this way. And then we'll finish this off. So you see there, I'm just scrumbling away, applying, releasing, pressure, letting the pencil do the work, and not overthinking it too much, thinking about where the marks are going, not overcomplicating it. So I'm going to take a photo of this now and send it along to our lovely Pete, who's been working ever so hard, getting all these videos over to yourselves. I can't believe I'm so impressed with the level of drawing skills now. There's so many of you doing this each week. It's unbelievable how far you've come in your abilities, and the lovely inboxes saying that you can't wait for them each week. It means a lot, it really does. It will be nice to get back to normal too. Okay, so I think I need to call, and we might have a little think of what I'm going to call this flamingo. And then next week we'll move on to the whole flamingo. I'll not do the detail phase, I'll do that as an impressionist type in the foreground, so we can work on the body part. Well, thanks for joining me, and see you again soon. Bye.